you encouraged?
No, I'm not encouraged. You know why? Because the Steelers didn't play last night. They didn't play a team. I mean, you're talking about a Cincinnati Bengals team that might be the second worst team in all of football. They are horrible. That offensive line should be ashamed of itself. They should be giving the Bengals money back for the job that they did. Second or third. That's right. Washington's up there too. But the Bengals are absolutely awful. That was really no test last night. I can't blame Andy Dalton for his ineptitude last night. He had no time to throw the football all evening long. You said the Steelers had 8 sacks. They were in his face. It was a relatively pedestrian effort by Mason Rudolph. Okay, he's finished 24-28. At one point in time, he completed 17 of 18 passes because this is a team that knows it's not a team. You got a coach in Zach Taylor, a new coach. Thank God they moved back from, on from the Marvin Lewis era. But I didn't say go to this direction. I mean, Zach Taylor right now looks like a dude clearly in over his head, somebody that wasn't ready for the job at hand. That's not to say that he won't be eventually, but certainly that is not the case right now. And it's just one of those situations where the Cincinnati Bengals are so awful, so atrocious in so many ways that I don't think it's any kind of test whatsoever that the Steelers experienced last night. It's hard for me to gauge what to make of that performance because of how awful Cincinnati is. Maybe next week when the Steelers go against the Baltimore Ravens, particularly coming off of 2 losses, surrendering back-to-back 500-plus yard performances the way that the Ravens have, knowing that they're going to be highly motivated, particularly against a rival and a division nemesis that is the Steelers, they'll show up and we'll see what the Steelers are made of without Big Ben Roethlisberger. All I'm saying is that last night was no test, no fault of the Steelers. It's just that the Bengals are so god-awful that it's hard to gauge anything positive from it other than the fact that you beat up on somebody that's small.
Why don't you just enjoy it? You're a Steelers fan, and there's reason to be happy.
I am enjoying it. I'm not unhappy. They asked me a question. I'm answering it.
You have talked about Mike Tomlin, right?
Yes.
And we had, I don't want to make everything racial all the time, but you've talked about the fact that he's an African-American coach. It's important to you personally that he succeed. And by the way, Tomlin is my favorite coach. And it started from when he was announced. Like, wow, Tomlin got the job? And he said, Steelers football, run the ball, stop the run. I said, ooh, I like this guy. I like the cut of his jib. I'd run through a wall for that guy. You could see it through the years. He's a player's kind of coach. Okay. Stephen A., what have you talked about with Mike Tomlin as your number one criticism?
The secondary.
And the defense, that if you are known as a defensive coordinator, the defense got to show up.
That's right.
Did the defense show up?
Yes.
Like, you can't choose who you play. All you can do is play well. Did the defense show up last night?
Yeah.
Okay, now what was my point about Mike Tomlin this season? No killer bees at all. They're gone, right? Okay, obviously, Le'Veon Bell signs with the Jets. AB is imploded. He's out of the league right now. And Roethlisberger's hurt, out for the season. What is really on Mike Tomlin now? Now, by the way, Pittsburgh has had like one coach every 15 years of their existence or something like that, right?
Might be longer than that.
It would be a really bad look if first African-American coach, by the way, Rooney Rule and the whole thing, the first time he doesn't have a winning season or the first time he's below 500, which they probably will be, his job is in jeopardy. Wait, one season below 500, your job's in jeopardy?
In 12 years.
No, not to me. To me, it's like this. What is his job right now? Tomlin, what's legitimate criticism of Tomlin? You talk about the defense as a D coordinator. Here's some legit, if not criticism, question mark. You inherited Roethlisberger, a Hall of Fame quarterback, in your team that was already successful. Right. But what can you do in terms of developing a quarterback? Well, here it is, Mason Rudolph. And what does Tomlin do? Like, what happened last night? Did Mason Rudolph look good? Well, he was a game manager. Yeah, he was. He handed the ball to running backs. Yeah, he did. But he was very efficient. Baby steps, right? Developing a quarterback. And did he ever air it out down the field? Yeah, he connected on a pass better than 40 yards, just like the first time he tried it.
43 yards to Deontay Johnson.
First time he tried it, he did it. He accomplished it. They didn't have him throwing the ball down the field all day. Right. But in a controlled way, he played a very good game, and they won. And Stephen A., let's say Rudolph can't consistently throw it down the field. Then he can't ever be their starting quarterback. But at the very least, they are starting to develop a nice guy to back up Roethlisberger next year. And the defense played. Why wouldn't you be happy about that as a Steelers fan?
Well, first of all, because as a Steelers fan, I have expectations. I came into the season with expectations, and within 2 weeks, it was over, period. That's why I'm feeling the way that I feel. I'm entitled to be emotional about my Steelers, damn it, and that's where I'm at. The fact of the matter is...
Good emotions in there?
Well,
are there any good emotions in there? Like happiness?
Well, listen, when you start off the season...
He was happy yesterday, real happy.
I was very, very happy about the Cowboys losing. But
but it's still like
now I'm back to my stuff
negative.
about my Steelers. Here's the deal. We open the season, we lose by 30 to the New England Patriots, okay? So that was problem number one, okay? And then after that, what happens? Game 2, you go against Seattle. That's where Big Ben Roethlisberger gets hurt. You lose by 2 points to Seattle, okay? Then last week, you go to Cincinnati, you go to San Francisco, all right? You got a lead now. You got to lead. And what happened? The defense, once again, they blow it, okay? And so I look at it from the perspective that even though you're only one game out in the AFC North, as you look and deconstruct this team, if you want to sit up there and say, okay, you just destroyed the Cincinnati Bengals, okay, fine, but the Cincinnati Bengals are so awful. All I'm saying is that you did what you were supposed to do. Congratulations. I'm not miserable about it.
Yeah,
all
I'm
saying is I can't, when I look at Cincinnati, I'm like, most of your schedule ain't going to be these guys.
Yeah.
They're not going to be these guys.
Beat their breaks off, and that was an embarrassing loss to start the season. But then losing close to the Seahawks and the undefeated Niners, that's not so bad. You even said they had a lead. And then last night, they play a bad team, and they whoop up on them like you're supposed to. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's pretty for a team that lost all 3 killer bees.
Right.
I mean, every skills position player that they wanted.
I'm not going to be excited about being the tallest dude in the small man's contest. And that's what it was last night with the Steelers. You're going up against the Cincinnati Bengals. You're going up against, if you were going up against Miami, I would say the same thing. I need to see you beat a quality opponent before I am going to get excited about you. I'm not miserable about the fact that they lost, but don't expect me as a Steelers fan.
Yeah. You like what you saw from Mason Rudolph?
Excuse me?
You like what you saw from Mason Rudolph?
Really, he doesn't move me. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.